This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Thursday morning to you. It is a numbers game with VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, Sirius XM Channel 158. Gil Alexander, Kelly Midland.
Hey-o.
In the Izzy. You don't do that every morning. I go, Gil Alexander, Kelly Midland.
You do, yeah.
Just want to give you your propers.
I'm never consistent though. You know, I kind of don't have something I say every day. Hey-o, I kind of go with. You just walked in. Yeah,
you cut your hair?
I cut the hair.
Oh man, why'd you go do
that? Disappointed?
Well, I was hoping we were trying to set a record of some kind. I don't know what that.
Some kind.
Yeah.
Kelly actually lets his hair grow.
Kelly Midland, shorn.
Hey, I didn't go too short. It's just, you know, I put some stuff back in it too.
You didn't go too short. Who'd you go? Zack Cohen on the show today. Zack Cohen, NBA playoffs, tennis from Madrid. Oh, by the way, I have a tennis play. We got to do that at the top here. Not that yesterday's worked out, but we'll try to see if this morning's works out. Zack Cohen, who is in the rear view. I see him approaching in the Killer Sports NBA NBA playoff challenge. Zack Cohen with 3 more picks to make in the first round. He's there. We will talk to him about all things NBA and tennis. Are we sure? Hey, Estamos Seguros coming back today on the show. Looking forward to that. And then a Kentucky Derby preview in hour number 2 with not one but 2 Derby experts or horse racing experts, Chris Felica, the Bear, and Peter Fornatal. Oh, buddy from the podcast days, Beating the Book and Betting Dork before that. He's the host of the In the Money Players podcast. He will join us as he does each and every year during the Triple Crown. Joe Sheehan on Major League Baseball's Crack Unscripted, though from a remote location today, so we'll do a couple segments from wherever he is in this great land. Do you know where he is?
I was just going to ask you. I have no idea.
He told me, but I can't remember.
Because it's not his annual golfing trip. We're already past that.
He's on the East Coast. I want to say he went to Atlantic City, but I don't know.
Okay.
Right. Don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. All that on the show today. And, of course, we will discuss the National Basketball Association as well here momentarily. I probably should start by, tennis play before we do anything else. I'm sorry. I'm like a squirrel. Tennis play, Haley Baptiste is the play this morning. Big dog against Mira Andreeva. I'm also taking her plus the games as a fail-safe. That didn't work out with Rafa Hodar against Yannick Sinner yesterday, but like with Hodar, give me them data points for Clay, for Haley Baptiste, who just upset Aryna Sabalenka. I think she takes down Mira Andreeva today. Got her for subscribers as a plus 212 dog last night, VSiN.com/picks. She's about plus 185-ish, I think, now.
Seeing 194 at DraftKings, and it looks like this is about to start right now.
About to start right now. Get it in if you can. Get it in if you can. Haley Baptiste from D.C. Let's go.
Hey, how do you handle it? I got a tennis handicapping question for you.
Mm-hmm.
When after a big win like that, is it, you know, how we talk in other sports, letdown spots, so, you know, like, or you just treat that as good recent form and I'm seeing it play through and play against the best opponents?
There's no such thing to me as a letdown spot for someone like Baptiste, who has never gotten to this level of a 1,000 before. I think she staved off, I want to say 5 match points against Sabalenka. Don't hold me to that. But her clay court numbers are better than Andreeva's. That's how I'm playing it.
And despite you take down Sabalenka, every next match is the biggest match for her, right?
Yes, that's right. Baptiste, let's go. Let's get it done against Andreeva this morning on the show. So a little tennis betting while we're talking. NBA and NHL playoffs. Let me just say this. I owe the NBA an apology about slandering their first round and saying, why are we playing best of sevens? Now, this doesn't mean that these are good teams playing.
I was going to say, though?
Let's make that distinction. What I was referring to was the lack of competitiveness typically, historically, in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Let's not mistake these for championship contenders in many cases. But in the NBA and the NHL, at least from a competitive standpoint, NHL, we had 2 sweeps, right? The best teams in each conference. Colorado swept the Kings. Carolina swept Ottawa. And then we were facing 6 game 6s. Now, as it's turned out in all the other series. The first game 6 was last night in Philly. The Flyers beat the Penguins in overtime, so it prevented the possible Penguins coming back from a 3-0 deficit. By the way, I was living that game through my Mishbilka, Chrissy Andrews, who I was having dinner with, and then Todd, who's a Pittsburgh guy, on text. They were just dying at this game. They wanted to win so bad. And Todd said Pittsburgh outplayed them, but Philly gets the win in overtime. It's hockey. So you get 6 game 6s in hockey. And now in the NBA, we had the OKC sweep of the Suns. We had San Antonio taking out Portland in 5. We will now have 6 game 6s in the first round of the NBA playoffs. So you think with 12 game 6s, we're going to have a handful of game 7s, you would think, across both sports in the first round. NBA last night, forcing some game 6s. Let's talk about these. These were not classics last night. Let's put it that way. But they were all interesting, I guess, in their own way. Detroit down 3-1 in their best of 7. Remember, Detroit is the 1 seed in the East. Orlando, the 8 seed. Orlando could have taken them out, but there was no Franz Wagner in this game. Detroit led by 12 after 1. They led by as many as 17 in the second quarter, but only led by 6 at the half. Magic got as close as 2 in the third, but trailed by 10 after 3, 89-79. And then it kind of hovered. The spread was 10. It hovered right around the spread for most of the fourth quarter till 110-101, Detroit. And the Magic had an 8-2 run to cut it to 112-109, but that's the closest Orlando would get. Cunningham fadeaway with 32 seconds left, put it back up to 5. Offensive foul, Wendell Carter Jr. put Suggs on the line, made both 116-109. That's how it would end. Banchero, 45-9-7 in defeat for the Magic. Cade Cunningham with 45 of his own for the Pistons. We now go back to Game 6 at Orlando when the 8-seed Magic can close them out.
That they can. I thought this was the most fun game of the night.
Yeah,
I was not expecting a duel between Cade and Paolo like that. And, look, I think if you're a prop better out there with no Franz on the court, yeah, the usage goes way up for Paolo. And he kind of has to do this, right, to keep them.
He knew it.
Yeah, he knew it, kind of keep them in there and alive. And Cade, look, the turnovers continue, 6 more for him. But really, really efficient, right? 45 points on 23 shots, goes to the free throw line and goes 14 for 14 from the line. So really efficient. Look, Detroit needed that one, but I don't know about you, Gil. It's not like I was watching that game feeling that much more comfortable about Detroit being able to complete this comeback. Can they? Yeah, they can, but it's 3-2. They still got to win 2 more. It's easier said than done.
To my original premise, though, we watched 6 teams last night, none of whom have a chance to win the NBA championship. None of them. Mm-hmm. I don't even think Detroit does, or Orlando. Orlando, I mean, these 2 teams will get further than the other 4 that played last night, though.
The team that I would say the most likely is Cleveland, but they got to look a whole lot different than they have the past few games.
Yeah, see, again, that's the unburdened by 82 games of Cleveland Cavalier basketball. I just don't see it that way. About that game, that was Game 5 last night in Cleveland. Series was knotted up at 2 apiece. Cleveland and Toronto, 203 points scored through the first 3 quarters. If you had the over in this one, you coasted to victory. Toronto led by 12 in the first quarter, but Cavs went on an 11-0 run to cut it to 22-21. Cavs would lead by 4, 38-34 after just a flurry of offense back and forth at the end of that. Nip and tuck most of the way second quarter, but at 65-63 with 2:22 left in the half, Toronto scored 7 in a row. They led by 7 at the half, 74-67, but Ingram was out at this point with an injury. Yeah. Barnes was banged up. You, Carl, and I had a text where we got to bang Cleveland here in the second half, and that proved to be the way to go. Cleveland, first of all, third quarter, 79-67. Toronto and Cleveland went on an 8-0 run to make it 79-75. They got within 2 a couple times, but Toronto would get it back to 9 before Cleveland closed again, 103-100 Toronto after 3. And in the fourth, Cavs scored the first 8 points of the quarter and never trailed again. Toronto did get within 2, 113-111, just over 6 minutes, but then the Cavs scored 9 straight. 124, 111 was their biggest lead with just over 4 minutes to go. Toronto would get it down to as little as 4 from there, but never to a one-possession game. 125-120, Cavs win. Schroeder with 19 each. Cavs shot 53.1% from the field, 50% from 3, 18 of 36, which overcame their 14 turnovers and allowing Toronto to get 15 offensive boards.
Yeah. Yeah, they got killed on the glass. Right? 48-35 rebounding advantage for Toronto, which is just like this. We talked about this a couple times. This cannot happen if you're Cleveland. You have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in there. Like, this cannot happen, especially when early in the series it looked like you were playing Jakob Poeltl off the court. He still only plays 21 minutes. Like, they're not rolling out a true center most of the time. It's just wild to see that happen. And really, man, like I really thought the Cavs were going to cover the pregame number. When we got towards the end of that game, they should have. Like, Toronto was lights out from the field in that first half and then just went ice cold in the second half, as you can kind of expect. Like, the Cavs needed Dennis Schroeder to bail them out of it, and he played awesome. That's like the best Dennis Schroeder game I've seen in like 3 years. Thought he was great. Donovan Mitchell kind of got benched for him a little bit. I mean, I think benching is a strong word, but he sat there while Schroeder continued to play. I mean, there's like 3 minutes left in the game. You're like, where's Donovan Mitchell?
Schroeder has had enough of these kinds of games throughout his career to stay in this league for a decade.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And it was, I really thought he was awesome. Made a couple shots, made a couple plays last night. I'm like, man, where has this been?
We go back to Game 6 in Toronto. Raptors try to stave off elimination. And then the last one last night.
That's a bet for me already, by the way. I laid it with the Cavs. Just
you
were Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't heard anything official on either one.
Ingram ended up playing 11 minutes last night.
I heard after the game maybe his actually isn't as bad, and he might be just day to day. And Barnes, it was hard to tell in the moment. He continued to play in the game, but he scored 1 bucket, I believe, in the second half. Clearly did not look like the same player. And if Scotty Barnes is limited, the Raptors are in trouble.
Thus, the Raptors 9-1 adjusted series price, down 3-2. That's a huge part in that. By the way, Pistons Magic with that 3-2 in favor of the Magic going back to Orlando. Magic are minus 120 to win that series. Pistons even money.
Yeah.
Magic going to do it in Game 6, man. They're going
I
to
think
do
you're
it.
Probably right.
They are going to do it.
I mean, if I had to bet that series, it would definitely be Magic.
Yes.
Get 2 cracks at it.
We'll talk about the Lakers and the Rockets. And tonight's triple header. Game 6 is abound. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Get VSiN Pro for just $9.99 for your first 30 days and start betting with the edge serious bettors rely on every day. Access expert picks, real-time odds, and actionable insights across every major sport. Plus, get player prop projections powered by Opta AI, daily picks delivered straight to your inbox, and betting guides for every major sporting event. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on Thursday's edition of Money Moves, join me, Stormy Bonantoni, and our resident horse racing expert, Mike Somich, break down all things Kentucky Derby. Plus, loaded show on deck. We've got a trio of potential closeout games in the NBA, 2 more in the National Hockey League, including the Oilers, who have played for the Cup each of the last 2 seasons. They're on the brink of elimination against the Anaheim Ducks. Chris Jimenez, kind enough to stop by once again, talk through all the managerial changes in MLB this week, and break down the day's card. It all starts at 11 Pacific, 2 Eastern on VSiN.
VSiN, the sports betting network.
VSiN.com has everything you need to bet smarter. Right now on VSiN.com, the Kentucky Derby betting guide is on there. You can acquire it there. DRF has their Kentucky Oaks and Derby previews as a daily racing form. And Greg Peterson's MLB Best Bets. Coming later today, Zack Cohen's NBA Best Bets. We'll have him here on the program momentarily. Jonathan Davis's best NHL plays and props. And UFC Perth picks. You heading to Perth this weekend and watch UFC, Kelly?
Nah, not this weekend.
Okay.
I'm going to take a weekend off. I'll be there next week.
Become a VSiN Pro today. Get access through the Belmont Stakes on June 6th with the Triple Crown special for just $14.99. You can see all the subscription options at VSiN.com/subscribe. We get tweets at Beating the Book, and this will lead us into the March-April Requiem here. Brian Point Schaefer. Gil, now that Ohtani doesn't hit when he pitches, do you think the MVP voters will dock this now, or is it still his to lose? Well, we don't know for a fact that he's going to go the whole season or even much of the season without hitting while he's pitching. He didn't hit on April 15th. He didn't hit yesterday. But it's unclear how often the Dodgers are going to do this. They say if he needs a little extra rest, it's just going to be a judgment call. So it remains to be seen how much this will happen during the season.
I didn't realize this was the thing going on. So is this, they haven't said anything official about how they'll handle going forward?
No, they say if they feel like he needs extra rest, then they'll do that. But there's no blanket he's not hitting while he's pitching statement.
And he has hit when he's pitched?
He has.
Okay.
Yeah. Rick Ollier. I guess my take from the first round so far is that the East champion is holding an interim belt until the Pacers are back at full strength. What say you, Mr. Blade? That's actually not a bad call. Feels that way a little bit.
Oh, I think if you're a lot of tanking conversation this year. If you're a Pacers fan, it worked out exactly how you wanted it to. Okay, yeah. You're gonna get a sweet draft pick, and you're gonna get Halliburton back, and you're watching this Eastern Conference playoffs right now and saying, "Who the hell scares me?"
Just don't fall between 5 and 9 if you're the Pacers. Mm-hmm. Then it gets transferred over. Are we gonna get a pod for the World Cup? Asks Shrek McPhee. You know what's a great idea? We should do a World Cup pod.
Just me and you beating the book.
Not me and you.
Just talking through the World Cup.
No. Ivory Coast. Go.
That wouldn't be very valuable.
Matthew Mayberry, Pittsburgh definitely outplayed Philly last night, but my 151 ticket on the Flyers lives on. Let's go. Good for you, man.
Nice.
And then Rocco Salperto has a crack question for later. Said, ask Crack if he remembers Teletrack in New Haven, Connecticut, first ever racing simulcast theater venue, opened in 1979, now being demolished. Friday nights watching races, then head over to Sally's for a pizza. Good as it gets. Rocco, I'm going to guess that he does, but we will ask him. I will ask him that question a little later on the show. You see what I was sending you this morning? This is a pet. Can I just be old man for a second?
So you just told me about it.
I sent you and Danny a barrage of texts this morning. So my whole thing is I talk about NBA media. So I was saying, I've been saying for the last month, I was like, nothing is worse to me than NBA writers who don't include details in their articles. Like they don't have the intellectual curiosity to explain the 65-game rule loopholes. You and I had to research it ourselves for like hours before the shows. You're an NBA writer. Include it in your articles. Care enough to care about these details, right? It is widespread.
It's also something like I'm just realizing with the new tanking stuff coming down, like the NBA should be as irritated about that as you and I are.
Yes.
Of like, hey, we need your help to explain this stuff to everyone.
You're an NBA writer. That's your one job. So the other one's the NBA voters, right, with your Con Kneppel Cooper flag thing, which I was not involved in, so I'm saying it objectively, that I just think NBA voters are voters in other sports may not be the greatest either, but NBA voters are horrific on some of these. And my newest thing also now is NBA sports talk radio. Like guys who so Craig Carton, you know Craig Carton used to be on WFAN, now he's doing his own thing, Craig Carton Show. So he's like, there's this whole viral clip of him saying, him and his sidekick, I forgive the sidekick, I don't mean to call you sidekick, I don't remember your name, but Craig Carton was talking about how James Harden has had 44 games in his playoff career where he's had more turnovers than points. False. It's just not true, right? It's more turnovers than field goals made in a bunch of games, but it's not by points.
Yeah.
We're like research. Now, listen, you and I are on the air for 3 hours every day, 5 days a week. We're going to make mistakes. We are often going to make them out of the sheer volume of what we're doing. If you're waiting around for us to commit a mistake, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But I'd like to think we're as pedantic on this stuff as possible, and I'd like to think that we don't do entire bits based on false premises. Bomani Jones defending Kevin Durant in this Lakers-Rockets series, segueing to this now. Defending Kevin Durant and saying on his show, right, Kevin Durant has the exact same injury as Anthony Edwards, but Kevin Durant showed up and tried to play, and now you're killing Kevin Durant. That's just you guys are. No, he doesn't have the same injury. Yes, they both have bone bruises, but Ant has a hyperextended knee, and the only other thing KD has is an ankle. They're not the same injury. And so again, it's just, I don't know what it is about NBA journalism where we have to do, you know what I likened it to this morning? If you do crossword puzzles, I like doing crossword puzzles. Crossword puzzles are infinitely harder when someone tries them before you and has like partially filled out wrong answers. Oh. Because your brain has to then overcome the letters that are on the page also. That's my rant about NBA. I just don't understand why NBA media is that bad.
I don't get the Durant thing. That is like...
What are you defending, man?
Well, also, like, he's hurt. Like, he's just hurt. What is there... I thought you were going to say defending because I think there is some Kevin Durant criticism out there. But like he's hurt. I'm not going to blame the guy for not like playing games because he's hurt.
But don't equate it falsely to something else.
And how often do we say don't compare injuries to injuries? Like this is like one guy being injured to and another guy being injured could be the same exact injury. Like recovery timelines can be different. Like guys recover at different speeds. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird.
As for the Lakers and Rockets, is this going to be the series where it finally happens in the NBA? Again, 4 times in hockey, a team has come back from a 3-0 deficit in a best-of-7 series to win. Over the history of hockey, 4. It's happened once in Major League Baseball, famously the 2004 Red Sox against the Yankees in the ALCS, back from a 3-0 deficit. It's never happened in the NBA. It's been a bunch of 3-1s. Doc Rivers, you know what I'm talking about. But there's never been a 3-0. We have gone now from 3-0, Lakers in favor of the Rockets, to 3-2. And remember how Game 3 ended. This should be 3-2 Rockets. But it's 3-2 Lakers as we head back to Houston for Game 6. KD has already been ruled out of Game 6 for the Rockets. Austin Reeves did return for the Lakers last night. We still don't know anything about Luka. Last night, Lakers led by as many as 11 in the first quarter, led by 7 after the first. Closely contested second quarter. Houston was up 4 at the half. Houston led by as many as 11 in the third. They led 76-67 by 9 after 3. And then in the fourth, they led by 13, 87-74, just past the halfway mark of the quarter. And the Lakers go on an 11-1 run, and it looks like, oh, man, here come the Lakers. They may take this. 88-85 Houston with just under 3 minutes left. Reed Shepherd almost loses the ball on the dribble. He keeps his composure. He sinks a 16-footer. Then he strips LeBron.
That was awesome.
Goes down court for the jam, back to 92-85 with 2:20 left. That was the key sequence of this game, as it turned out, because the Lakers did get back within 3, but with 22 seconds left, on an 8 and tip, Amen Thompson made 1 of 2 free throws. LeBron then woefully short on a 3. Rockets rebound. In effect, that was ball game. 99-93 Houston. Jabari Smith 22 for the Rockets. LeBron 25. 8 and 18 and 17 for the Lakers. He showed up. And Austin Reeves 22 in defeat. He came back with 22 points last night. Was definitely a little rusty. But the Lakers now in every game this series, Kelly, have committed 15-plus turnovers.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I mean, it's multiple things, right? Injuries. Their key ball handlers have not been playing. There's that. Yes, the Rockets have some good defensive players. I don't want to take anything away from them. This is going to be interesting going forward, Gil. And I don't really like this. Kind of Magic Pistons. This one too. Like very up in the air to me. I don't know. It very much depends on the injuries. I think if you're a Laker fan, you probably watched a lot of that game last night and said, "Man, Austin Reeves, 4 for 16 from the field."
Yeah, he was rusty.
But here's the thing. Look at the free throws. It's 12 from 13 from the line. Him and LeBron combined to take 23 free throw attempts. We see this type of the little offense that the Lakers are producing every game. You need this from Austin Reeves. So I think if you're a Laker backer, Laker fan, just good news, good sign to see Reeves back and playing 34 minutes last night.
Rockets plus 260. Down 3-2 to win this series and create history. Would be the first team again to come back from 3-0 deficit in a best-of-7 series in the history of the National Basketball Association. Zach is coming on to give us his NBA thoughts momentarily. Let's get yours.
Real quick on Durant though, like this is like they are clearly playing looser more comfortable without Kevin Durant. So
if they win Game 6.
Yeah. And it's Kevin Durant. It's Kevin Durant. If he's healthy, he's playing. If he's healthy, he's playing.
But if I gave him truth serum, would they want him to play Game 7?
I don't know, Gil, and I think all the conversation we're going to hear about that leading up to it is completely fair.
Yeah.
It's Kevin Durant, though. You got to play him. Like, I don't care what your beefs are on the team and stuff.
Listen, Kevin Durant, he's hurt. I don't want to take that away from him, but not being on the bench for some games, going from team to team.
Oh, yeah.
Having burner accounts. Mm-hmm. He kind of brings a lot on himself.
Absolutely.
Rabbit ears. Listens to too much out there about himself. Cares too much.
Celtics, he might be listening right now.
3 Game 6s tonight. Celtics, Sixers, Knicks, Hawks, Nuggets, T-Wolves. Zack Cohen next on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big. We go all night. And here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you are looking for live streaming and replays from nearly any thoroughbred, harness, or greyhound track out there, check out RTN.TV, the racetrack television network. RTN has more HD content than any other streaming service and is available on TVs, PCs, tablets, smartphones, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV. Just head to RTN.TV and enter promo code VSiN to get your first 5 days, not just your first days, but your first 5 days free. That's promo code VSIN. We get tweets beating the book. This is Doug Tuttle. Did I miss your segment on May plays, or is that today? Yes, I did the most wins in May segment yesterday. The answer, Seattle Mariners are the play in May.
We will we'll recap again tomorrow before May officially starts, and then and then Joe Sheehan on the show later today has some thoughts on it.
By the way, can I just show this right now because we've gone a half an hour and I haven't brought this up. Shame on me. Our dream of the Cincinnati Reds winning March, April comes to a crashing halt last night. The Dodgers lost in the during the day yesterday, and so did the Yankees. So it was mano a mano, Reds versus Braves. It was very simple. Braves lose 2, Reds win 2. Wheat dead heat with the Braves. Just the Reds and the Braves. Well, and the Reds were trailing 13-0, and at that point you figured it might be over. And so the Reds lose to the Rockies 13-2. By the way, it wouldn't have mattered. The Braves won. They come from behind to beat the Tigers on a walk-off. So it wouldn't have mattered. So the Braves are we included the bottom teams here as well. The Braves are your March, April champs. We gave it a good run. By the way, those are the odds on the far right of what these teams were pre-flop at Caesars William Hill before March, April. There are 35-1 Reds. So the Braves cash at 16-1. Congratulations to anybody who had them. There's the bottom, by the way, Astros, Phillies, and Mets. April only at Circa, the Braves won that as well. Wow. So if you had that, Braves are the champs there as well. Padres don't play anymore. Braves are your winner outright. At both March, April, and April.
Champs with a day to spare.
Yeah, man.
It does feel like this usually comes down to like the last day.
Oh, it usually does. Yeah, usually does. But Mariners are the team for the month of May. We put out a clip yesterday. You can check it out on the Beating the Book feed. Ladies and gentlemen, he is looking good in this contest, this Killer Sports Challenge. I see him coming. Zack Cohen, everybody, joining us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at BettingOnX. Zachary, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing very well. Can I just talk real quick about tennis? Because we got tennis on the screen here. Haley Baptiste, Mira Andreeva on serve here in the first set, 3-3. I know you don't have any plays in Madrid today, or because there's no more matches. I don't think maybe there's one more match that's happening. General thoughts on the French Open. We haven't really talked about this. Men's side, you're feeling like Sinner is the guy, or is there true competition?
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, I came on and told you I liked Sinner at plus 130. That was before we knew Alcaraz wasn't playing. It was just kind of when we thought he was banged up and would be going into that tournament with an injury. Still like Sinner to win. I don't think I would take it at this number. If you're looking for other kind of longer shots you could take and maybe just hope that they get to a final, offer up like a hedging opportunity, I'd be looking at Arthur Fils. I'd be looking at Novak Djokovic. I think that Djokovic is obviously not healthy right now, but I do think he's the type of smart player that sees kind of the opportunity that's opening up in front of him. I think this is a guy that is desperate to win his 25th Grand Slam. Now he will not have to go through Carlos Alcaraz. He will just have to go through Jannik Sinner, and we did just see him beat Sinner in Melbourne. So I think that that's going to give him some motivation that if he can get out there healthy, this is a tournament that he should suddenly be throwing his body into. And Fils has just been pretty consistently one of the top 5 players in the sport ever since he came back. He's getting deep in every single tournament. We will see kind of a preview of what that might look like tomorrow. He's going to be facing Sinner in Madrid. Very interested in seeing how that match goes. And then outside of that, it's just a really interesting odds board. I mean, depending on where you look, you see Rafa Hodar up at like 8th on the odds board. So at 40-1, just an interesting time with some of the young guys pushing out some of these, I would say, good, not great players that have been in the top 10 for a long time.
What about the ladies? Just put a bunch of names in a hat and just pick one randomly at this point?
Yeah, ladies is really tough. Like I would say, I think Sabalenka is going to find a way to win. I know that she's had some ugly losses here and there, but I do think the consistency you're getting from her lately has just been on another level from everybody else. I think Coco is starting to look a little bit better. Her serve looked a little bit better to me last match and last tournament overall. Also, I do believe just in her grinding style of play in these ugly matches that you tend to see at RG. And then if you're looking a bit further down the board, like I think Linda Noskova is a player that's going to go deep at every tournament. We just saw her lose in pretty, ugly fashion against Marta Kostyuk, but I think she's a player that is going to start going deep at every single tournament and eventually will win a major here in the next couple of years. So I think if you keep taking her, at some point you will profit.
I'm going to say it's the most wide open French Open I can remember in recent history because, of course, Iga Swiatek, who has won 4 of these, 4 of her 6 slams on this court. If it's coming back, if the clay court prowess is coming back, we haven't seen it yet, right? We have no evidence yet that it's there. And we will find out in Rome before Paris. He's got one more chance to show it. Now if she goes ahead and she wins Rome, then all this is going to change. But until we see it, we really can't say her with any confidence.
Let me ask you both, if I can. How many, where are you drawing the line here? How many are we talking about that are really live to win this, in your guys' opinion, right now?
Oh, I'll give
8, 9, 10 names?
Not quite 10.
There's probably names that aren't even listed that I think can win.
That you would include, Zach? Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly, Iga, we've talked about this off the air, but I would be tempted to play her if the number was a little bit better.
Me too.
But they're not reflecting her struggles whatsoever.
No.
So we're just not getting a good enough price.
She's well respected in this market without having shown it. But to answer your question, I think Zach is right. Potapova is not on this screen. Mm-hmm. She just had a great tournament. Haley Baptiste, who's playing right now, just got broken, by the way. Haley Baptiste is playing. I don't think Haley Baptiste can win the French, but there's so many players who are playing great on clay. So we'll see. There's finalists here. Jasmine Paolini is listed there. There's a bunch of folks in here. It should be fun. We'll do a French Open pod as the tournament approaches here in late May. To the National Basketball Association, Zach. Any of those? Let's start with this. Any of the 6 teams that played last night, can any of them win the NBA championship?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think so. I don't have any of those teams really in contention. I think that the Cavaliers have a chance of getting to the NBA championship. I don't think that they could win it. I still kind of believe that they are in decent shape in the Eastern Conference. I know that that's a little crazy given the way they struggled with Toronto, but I do think that I would give the Cavaliers a great chance against either the Pistons or the Magic. I still think that they should win that series. And then if they can kind of build some chemistry, figure out the rotation a little bit by the time they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'd say nothing is off the table in terms of them just getting to the final. I just don't think the Eastern Conference really has much of a shot against the West, assuming both teams head into that series healthy. I think that if the West stays healthy, they're going to have the champion.
Let's do these one by one. Let's start with the triple header tonight. We got a triple header tonight. We got a triple header tomorrow. 6 game 6s. This is awesome. Celtics Sixers. Oh, actually, before that one, Knicks Hawks tips off tonight. Knicks trying to close out the Hawks at Atlanta, game 6. They're up 3-2. They are 2.5-point favorites. The total is 214. Are you playing this one either way?
So I'm going to play this in the Killer Sports contest. I'm going to have the Knicks in that. I like New York a lot tonight, whether it's the money line or the spread. I'm just not taking the Knicks personally because I already have Knicks minus 1.5 games in the series. I also have the Knicks parlayed with the Nuggets to win their series from before it started. So already have a lot riding on this game. Don't want to add to it, but I think that New York is a really good side to play. If you're just looking to play tonight, I think that this Knicks team has been for 2 consecutive games, the by far better team in this series. They're starting to finally kind of get Karl-Anthony Towns going in the paint. They're moving Jalen Brunson off the ball a little bit more, which you're seeing based on last game's 39 points. It's actually opening up some better shots for him, and that's part of the reason I'm playing Brunson over 2.5 made threes tonight at plus 130. He's made 3+ threes in 4 of the 5 games in this series so far, and I do think that he has been getting better looks over the last 2 games ever since they decided, let's get Karl-Anthony Towns involved in the series.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll just jump in right now. I'm going to be doing the same thing, I think, as Zach. That is, we have the same series bet. I'm not going to go double down on the game tonight. I think if I didn't have the series bet in play, it probably would be a small bet on the Knicks, but they will probably be a play for me in the contest. So
probably a play for you.
Yep.
Next round, just projecting forward just for a second. Knicks win this series. The Knicks then would take on the Boston Celtics or Philadelphia 76ers. A Knicks-Celtics series, just for giggles. Let's just project forward for a second. What's the series price on that-ish, you think, and which way would you lean?
I would guess it's going to be like minus 160, minus 165 for Boston. I think that I would lean Knicks. I just feel like maybe Kelly's made this point in the last couple of weeks as well, but I think Boston's worse than they were last season. I know that a lot of people have kind of bought into what they've seen from Jason Tatum. I do think that the shot diet has been a little bit better for Boston this year. Not as reliant on the three, but still reliant on the three. And I think New York is more talented than Boston, last year.
Celtics, Sixers, Nuggets, T-Wolves, another couple Game 6s. Zach's got plays. We'll talk about tomorrow's Game 6s next on A Numbers Game.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on the numbers game, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander. It's my little buddy Kelly Bidlin, everybody. New haircut. Soak it in, ladies. Soak it in. Jesse Welch on Twitter. Please, Gilly, do a World Cup pod. You should have Paul Carr on it. Like I'm going to do a World Cup pod without Paul Carr. He said, Paul used to do a soccer pod with a few guys, and since it stopped, I persistently tweeted at them to get a new soccer pod going, and I have yet to convince them. LOL. I think we'll do it. Chris Heath, 16-1 seems like a good wheelhouse for MLB monthly wins. The only two I cashed last season were at that number, including the Blue Jays in July, which you almost bet, Gilly. Yes, I remember. I think it was my number 2 that month. Oh, boy. And then talking about my frustration with NBA media, Real Nick says, there's a gentleman on ESPN, I hate to say names, but it rhymes with even a myth. He became most ubiquitous reporter on TV by spitting out untrue facts half the time. When others see his success, why shouldn't they follow? It's an epidemic. I don't know about half the time, but yeah.
Here's a fun tweet coming down from Jeremy Fowler. Steelers believe that Drew Aller has similar arm talent to a young Joe Flacco.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a hell of a good thing.
Yeah.
And if you're Drew Aller, it means you're going to be paid for like 25 years in this league because of it.
Now let's ask everybody who's watched Drew Aller all these years if they agree with that.
Yeah, I was like, that's where I wasn't even going to ask you, but yeah, like the few times I did, I don't know if I remember that.
All these game 6s, 3 in the NBA tonight, 3 tomorrow, and then we have 6 ultimately in hockey, including the one between the Flyers and the Penguins last night. Klay Thompson just came up off air. Klay Thompson. They should all be calling up, getting Klay Thompson. Should be trading for Klay Thompson right now. He's known as Mr. Game 6.
That's right.
That's his thing. Do you remember his greatest Game 6?
Which one?
Game 6, 2016 Western Conference Finals against OKC. When the Warriors came back from a 3-1 deficit, Game 6, he dropped 41 points, 19 in the fourth, including a then-record 11 threes made.
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
And the Warriors won that series, and then the Warriors went on to lose to the Cavs after being up 3-1 in that 73-win season.
What's the game? Didn't he have one where the third quarter when he went nuclear in the third?
Oh, yeah, with the 37-point third quarter. That wasn't a game.
Was that a regular season?
That was a regular season. I always said this about them. Steph Curry's the greatest shooter of all time. But in terms of, like, pinning the needle in on-fire games, nothing was as on fire as Klay Thompson on fire.
I agree.
Anyway, back to the Game 6s. Zack Cohen, kind enough to join us. All right, Zach, we talked about the Knicks and the Hawks. By the way, the reason, Zach, that I asked that hypothetical about Knicks Celtics is because I had dinner with my mishpucha, Chrissy Andrews, last night, and one of the things he was talking about is someone asked him to make a number on Spurs or OKC versus the Celtics in the final. What's the series price? And he thought about it. Chrissy doesn't typically like these exercises, but he thought about it and he said, I think you'd have to make the Spurs or the Thunder a $4 favorite because the fact that they will have just come on from having beaten their opponent, the Spurs or the Thunder. And so at that point, they, the belief in them will be at the peak. And then I said, and will it be not high enough? And he said, no. He said, historically, whenever I put up NBA championships, like he recalled when Michael Jordan was in his championship run with the Bulls, he always needed Jordan. Every bettor would always take the big plus price on the dog. He always needed Jordan and the Bulls, and that worked out well for him. So anyway, I'm interested in what those prices might be. Let's go to the second game tonight, which is the Celtics and the Sixers. How are you playing this one?
I have a couple player props in this one as well. I do lean Philadelphia's side. I think that grabbing the points with the Sixers is the right way to play this. I do think that there was something like legitimate about what we saw in Game 5, and it's something that I've kind of said about this Celtics team all year long, and it's that they really are weak at the center position. I know that Nemias Queta had a good year, but he is somebody that can struggle to guard elite bigs, at least without fouling. And when Joel Embiid is playing like that, Philadelphia is going to have a chance against anybody. So I think the Sixers go back out there. They roll the ball out to Embiid. They try to let him isolate. But I do think the Celtics are going to kind of adjust and try to get the ball out of his hands. That is why I'm playing Tyrese Maxey over 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists at -115. He's actually had 40-plus PRA in 3 of the 5 games in this series, and he even had 40 last game when Embiid was going off. I just think if you do not kind of pay Maxey the respect he deserves as like the number one for this Philadelphia team, he'll torch you. And I do think that he really likes this matchup with the Celtics because they play a drop coverage that gives him a lot of room to kind of knock down threes, knock down off the dribble mid-range shots, and just kind of pick up a head of steam driving to the basket. So I think that Maxey has a really big game as a scorer. I also think he chips in with rebounds and assists. And then all of that kind of leads me to Quentin Grimes having over 1.5 made threes at plus 196. Wouldn't go too big on this, but he made 4 threes in game 5. He's had back-to-back games with double-digit scoring in this series and just kind of feels like he's settling into it nicely. And the Celtics throughout the regular season and in these playoffs, they've struggled to kind of guard the parts of the floor that Grimes has thrived in, which are above the break threes and just catch and shoot jumpers overall. So I think those two players have good games and really would not be surprised if we're going to a game 7 back in Boston.
Celtics favored by 6 tonight at the Sixers. Now, unlike the Celtics and the Knicks, the T-Wolves in a game 6 actually have a chance to close this out, pardon me, on their home court tonight against the Nuggets. Problem is, there's no Dante DiVincenzo, and more importantly, there's no Anthony Edwards. So the Nuggets are favored by 6, the total 225.5. You have a prop in this game as well.
Yeah, I'm playing Aaron Gordon over 1.5 made threes in this game. I'm not even sure he's going to play in this one. He's still questionable with a calf injury. But when he kind of forced himself into action in game 4 the other night, when he was playing with this calf injury, he took 5 threes in 20 minutes. And I just kind of think that there's something to him not being 100%, not being willing to kind of attack the basket, go crash the offensive boards, and just kind of wanting to stand out there and take, open 3-pointers on offense to save his energy for the defensive end. So if he plays tonight, I think that that's going to be a really good number. I think he'll take between like 5 and 7 threes. So I'm always fine with kind of, risking that for that type of volume. But I do not know he's going to play. So if he doesn't, you will just be voided. So not a lot of risk there. I mean, the risk would be he plays, he's not able to finish the game, he's pulled early and doesn't finish it, which would, not be that crazy considering what we've seen from him. But I do think the Nuggets win this game. I just don't feel comfortable laying the points. I had the Nuggets to win the series before it started. I added to the position before game 5. I still think that they're going to win this series just because, look, it's not fair to ask Minnesota to win without Anthony Edwards.
It's so brutal that they have these injuries, the T-Wolves. But I will say this. I am not willing to dismiss the T-Wolves from winning this series tonight. I'm just not. Even with those two guys out, I just have a feeling this is going to be epic tonight. I'm curious about your the 3 games tomorrow. You don't have to dive in too deep, but I'm just curious your reactions. Again, 3 game 6s, same sort of thing where 2 game 6s have the team up 3-2 on the road. That's the Cavs against the Raptors and the Lakers against the Rockets. And then there's the one game like the T-Wolves tonight who are at home to try to close out the Nuggets. You got the Magic at home to close out the Pistons. Cavs are 4-point favorites. You may have already tipped your hand on that one. Rockets are 4.5-point favorites at home against the Lakers. Magic are 3-point home dogs against the Pistons. Does one of those 3 stand out on the spread to you or maybe on the totals?
Yeah, I think that the Lakers are going to win game 6. I think that, they've definitely made this really difficult on themselves. They are now at risk of potentially being the first team to lose, a 3-0 series lead in the NBA playoffs. But I kind of think that Austin Reeves looked really good while not shooting well in game 5. So that was kind of a really strong, showing for me to kind of see that this Lakers team is going to be getting a little bit closer to full strength for this next one. And I think Reeves is going to play a little bit better. I think you're going to see some worse shooting performances from some of the Rockets starters. I mean, they got 5 players in that starting 5. All of them scored in double figures in that game. Thought defensively they played really well, but I think you could count on LeBron and Reeves to look a little bit better in this game. Also do trust JJ Redick a little bit more than I trust Ime Udoka. So I'd be grabbing the points with the Lakers. I also think that the Magic are going to beat the Pistons at this point. So whether it's this game or next game or both, I think taking the money line with Orlando is the right side. I just feel like this Pistons team has not been good enough offensively to win 3 games in a row against a really strong Magic team and a Magic defense. I shouldn't say Magic team, but yeah, I think that Orlando wins one of these next 2 games. So I think playing the money line will be profitable.
Yeah. And lest we forget, we had this Magic team dead. I'll raise my hand. We had this Magic team dead when they were playing the Hornets in that last play-in game, right, to determine the 8th seed. They crushed them, right? They were up 31 at the half, I believe it was. Crushed them, and here they are now on the brink of beating the Pistons. They have 3 shots at it. The first one squandered, but now they got it on their home court for, something that doesn't often happen. An 8th seed beating a 1. Lest we forget that's what we're looking at. And then the chance to play the winner of the Cavs and the Raptors. I know you're a big Cavs guy, but I think a lot of people look at that and be like, they could win that series too and head to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah.
Credit to Paolo Banchero, by the way, because I was with you. I was, unloading on this team on the podcast. I thought that they looked awful, but Banchero, once the playoffs